Hey guys, Kansas Garage. Oh, sorry. God, we're a little messed up. Anyway, we are going to do a video for everybody that thinks they want to do a Cobra intake on a Gen 1 Mark Viii. First impressions, don't do it. Not worth it. And just to verify, right, I have a 94 Lincoln Mark Viii Gen 1, just for verification purposes. That's the old intake, the old long runner style. Anyway, mine split the fuel lines that runs over the top of the intake, and I thought, well, I couldn't find any different fuel rails for it. Didn't know they made a nylon fuel repair kit. Silly me, but now I know. Just so happened to pop onto Facebook Marketplace, and here's that one. It came with the throttle body, IMRC plates, the injectors. I thought, cool, that's all I need. Well, I did a whole lot of studying on the internet to see if I could make this work, and I don't think many people have. This is just my go with this. First and foremost, the hood doesn't fit. As you can see, I've been trimming, trying to make it all fit, but I still get hit here on about there. So if I close this, right, it makes it to the first latch, no problem. Then we get to about here, and I don't know if you can see that, but it's flexing the hood right about here. So that is right about here. See where that white fiberglass dust is? That's from here, where it's flexing. Anyway, other than that, it was an easy swap. The IMRC plates were already open. The guy I got them from took and ran a bolt. Oh, you guys got to be able to see that. You can see right down there the bolt where he welded it to the plate, and it's wide open. So for me, that's not that big a deal because I'm going to put a stall converter and bigger gears in it, but I would have much rather had those operational. Beggars can't be choosers. Knowing what I know now, I would probably go back and try to make the Mark vacuum deals work. But I broke the vacuum solenoid off of there when I was pulling this all apart. It wasn't intentional. This thing's 30 years old now. Plastic brakes. You know, just I brake all the time. I'm well over 30. So anyway, this is the factory MAF. I just took it out of the housing. It's that squared off piece right there. You just pull it out of that. I don't remember if I got the adapter from Super Coops Unlimited or if it came with the JLT intake. The JLT intake is for either this year Cobra or a newer model Cobra. I don't remember. But this is the adapter you need to put the air filter onto here. This reducer steps down to this side of it. Seems to work just fine. The only thing I had to do was open up this hole in the plastic for my intake air temp sensor. This is the original Mark intake air temp sensor, the original Mark throttle position sensor, the The only one that I modified was the idle air control valve wiring. I just spliced this one in, and currently it's functioning. I did have to stretch wiring. I split the loom here, and it normally runs across the middle of the intake, kind of like that, and then lays over in both directions. And so I ended up having to stretch some of the injector wires, and these ones in particular, these front two, had to be stretched, and I ran them around this way and laid them back that way. I believe these back injector wires, whoo, it's a little warm, I just ran this thing. These back injector wires did get extended. Also the the intake air temp sensor got extended as well. This I was able to leave how it was. I just kind of ran it through the harness and tucked it up underneath everything. For me, this Russell 8N to fuel rail adapter works perfect. And then I have an 8N to a 6N adapter to 3/8 push lock hose. That seems to work just fine so far. You also need, sorry, I've got this thing sitting down right now. I want to see if the air compressor worked, and obviously not. You will need special fittings for the front, for the fuel rails, off of the filter, and for the return. You'll also need a different throttle cable. This is one for a Cobra. I don't know if this is going to work or not. This is just what was given to me. Same with the AccuFab throttle body. I had to trim the intake inside to make that work. The EGR is blocked off. Oh, the other important one, if you're doing a Gen 1 setup, where did that get off to? The bracket for the alternator is different, as well as a lot of the hardware is different as well. So I don't remember what I did with it. That's probably inside the car. Anyway, I had to locate a Cobra alternator bracket to make this work, because the Mark VIII alternator bracket would mount up here on the old intake, and it put it way up high, and that wasn't going to work. So I had to locate one of those. I think that was $50 shipped to my door from somebody back east that was parting one out on eBay. Sorry, back to the fittings. The 6AN Russell fitting did not work on this clip. The spring, like this one in here, was already pushed all the way out, and it wouldn't allow me to put it on there. And I've had that one in there. These were some cheap Amazon ones that I had found, but they aren't cut quite right. The O-rings make them super tight to install, and they're junky O-rings, but they like to cut the O-rings when you install them. So I had to put that one back on because the Russell one did not fit. It wouldn't clip. Anyway, I ended up taking the old fittings off the old fuel lines. See the return line there, and lubed them up real good and sent that bad boy home. Now I don't have a fuel leak anymore, so that's good. Need to figure out a different deal for a catch can for both sides. This one is currently open, but we'll change that. Vacuum set up there. I believe this is throttle cable. The cruise control, I've heard, will work but you have to unbolt it from wherever it mounts in the firewall or in the fender well and bring it to me. So we'll work on that, but this is the bracket for my throttle cables, and it would come in here and clip on all this shenanigans. So anyway, let me, okay, it won't let me rotate. Perfect. I am going to put this hood scoop on. It's plastic, was meant for a Mustang, but I didn't even mean for it to be this large. It's huge. I'm gonna take and heat this a little bit and try to bend that more flat, because if I set this on here, that scoop sits right in the middle where the hood kind of splits, and I believe this will sit somewhere about like that. So as you can see, this is up just a touch, and all of that needs to come down. Anyway, that's the theory. We'll see how it all works. So I need to put this back up on jack stand so I can finish with the exhaust. This is the True Benz exhaust system, 2.5 inch X pipe back with some Cherry Bomb, I believe, Salute mufflers. We'll see how that all goes. I believe that's it. So again, for a recap, Cobra intake manifold, Gen 1 Mark VIII, not recommended. But also, I thought I knew better. So much for that. The internet knows best. Anyway, if you guys got any questions or anything, comment, ask me a question. I'm usually pretty good about answering stuff. Get back to me. I will try to get back to you. Oh, also, if you're doing this, you will need a tune. Plain and simple. This thing idles fine. It does nice little revs, but I haven't tried to drive it. I currently have a check engine light on because, well, stuff's unplugged. And anyway, oh yeah, don't worry about that. My alternator decided it wanted to ground itself. So I believe that's it. Gen 1 Mark VIII, Cobra intake install. If you're gonna do this, get a cowl hood. That's all I can recommend. We'll see you later, guys.